here today with a 25-year mortgage industry professional icon and also a 25, probably even longer than that, year entrepreneur. And I think in this industry with social, we're seeing more entrepreneurial side of loan officers come out, but with the great Shawn Kaplan. And what I love about Shawn is first off, your family, your connection to God. And brother, you are one of those guys that if I just need a little pick me up, I'll reach out to you. But what I love too is when you call me unannounced and just say, hey, you're on my mind, leaving me a message, praying for my daughter. I hold a special place for you in my heart. And I don't say that to everybody, but you're one of those guys. And so I'm so honored to be here with you today. And I'm so honored with all of the effort and everything you poured into me. So God bless you and thank you so much.
Dude, you're gonna make me bust out, cry right here. I feel the same way about you. You were always there, like when I had tough moments or I didn't know what to do. You were one of those guys I felt like I could go to and call. And I remember, as busy as you were, you would pick up the phone and you'd get back to me. And that just really, really meant a lot. So thank you for letting me return any of that.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's dive into it. We have limited time. We have a lot to cover. First off, I want to talk about your brand.
Yeah.
Tell us about your brand and how it evolved to what it is today, because it didn't start there.
Yeah. When I got into mortgages, I was like anybody else. I've just been on this journey of, is there this brand or title or name that's fancy that should come up that I can use, right? And I've always tried to force it. I could name some of them. They're ridiculous, and some of them are generic, like everybody else. And I just didn't really know what to do with it. And so my brand is Cap 1926. Cap is my last name. And as I was forcing my way through that journey, I was actually with Chris Doe.
Yeah.
And we were doing a whiteboard exercise. And he's like, tell me who you want to serve and who you want to be like to others. And we're writing down these words. And we were doing it for a half hour or so. And one of my friends walked by. I forgot who it was. And they were going to lunch. I said, Cap, we're going to lunch. And he said, what did he just say? I said, Cap. He's like, why did he call you that? I said, that's what everybody's always called me. He goes, there's your brand.
Yeah.
So your brand, for me, what I would tell others is don't go and look for it and don't try to create it. Think about what is already happening or what people already call you or think about you, and because it's already there.
Yeah.
And I think I just developed that as a kid, Like you said, I'm an entrepreneur who happens to do mortgages, I think.
Yes, and I think there's a lot that you've created that you showed them it's okay to basically step out of the comfort zone of just worrying about DTI, LTV, and really sharing what mortgage has done for you, what it's done for your family. And speaking of family, you didn't come from a lot.
No. The 1926 was, my family's name was Kafka when they came to Ellis Island. And when they walked up to Ellis Island, my grandfather, he only spoke Yiddish because they were leaving Poland before World War II. And when they walked up there, the guide, he couldn't explain what his name was. So the guide gave our family's name the same people that were in front of us, which was Kaplan. So that was in 1926. So that's why I created, the brand logo that way. But really the story was just, long story short, my dad died when I was 6 and then I was raised by a single mom. And so that was just tough. All right, food stamps, all of that. So, and then that, I would have liked to think one day it went away or she remarried and all of that. And there were glimmers of that, but no, it was pretty much, high school, you want a car, you better figure it out. So I went and got loans, and insurance and jobs. And then college, it was like, you want to go to college? Guy knocked on our door, took college loans. And so I would do whatever I needed to, but unfortunately I made some nasty mistakes and racked up a lot of debt. And that's, later in the journey I can explain to you, but that's how what I enjoy teaching people now.
That's literally what you are teaching people now, and it's making a big impact. It's making a huge difference in not only the people that you lend to, but those also that you get to work with.
Right. Yeah.
Along that line, who are your entrepreneurs that you followed, and who were your mentors that brought you along?
I've had a handful of good mentors in my life. I always think about going back to, I like to start and give honor in those people that first showed up. Like my first mentor, I would probably say, obviously, is my mother. I mean, that woman always had 3 jobs. I always saw her like take 10 cents and make it into 20 cents. And she didn't have pride, but she was humble, even in her circumstances, But my next mentor that really popped up in my life was a lady that owns 2 restaurants here in the Nashville area, Doris Demas. She passed away. But they were a Greek family, and I learned a lot from walking up to a table within 30 seconds and having to meet a group of people, be confident enough to stand tall, adapt and learn in 30 seconds and make somebody happy so they'll leave you more money.
Yes.
And so one day I was doing that and there was a mortgage guy. And I was like, he said, you should think about selling mortgages. I said, sir, I don't want to sell insurance. He goes, no. He said, here's my card. Come see me next Tuesday. And that was all she wrote. Once I found out that those guys that were not that intelligent were making that type of money,
Yes.
I was like, I can do that.
It's a land of misfits, this industry, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of great people. It's so interesting. Do you do that now? Because everything you're saying, my grandfather came through Ellis Island. They couldn't pronounce his name, so they called him Sam. And then you think about my mom, same thing, 3 jobs, and she would hide jars of money throughout the house and literally saved every penny.
Yeah.
I bought her a house not too long ago, and then she starts renting out a room to my niece, and I'm like, this is good, but this is how she's always done it, right? And never made more than $60,000 a year, but probably has over a few million bucks in the bank just because of the fact of what she's done time and time again, and understanding how money works, which a lot of people don't.
Yes.
How I got in the industry the same way is somebody saw me selling shoes, gave him incredible service, and then the next thing you know, I'm meeting him at a Denny's to talk about the mortgage industry, and here we are.
Wow. Do you think that like there was also a shift though for the appreciation of money? Because like now it feels like it's way easier to make money. Back then it was you work and you only make this and you save or you don't save.
Yes.
It was life or death.
Right.
Now it's like, well, if I don't have a job, somebody will help me out, right? Do you think that's affected it?
I do think it affected it. And it's like the hardworking individuals, they don't work as hard. They work smarter with using technology in other forms.
Yeah.
But they're not lazy. They're just different. And so it's no different than our ancestors. If they saw how we worked when we were just write loans all day,
Yeah.
To them, it wouldn't be hard work because we're not doing hard labor, right? And so I think it's changed. I still think, though, a lot of the next generation of loan officers aren't in the industry right now. They're probably serving. They're probably doing something online and can create a lot of leads and a lot of opportunities for other individuals.
I would also encourage people just to like find out what are you doing that's unique that other people aren't doing right now, and how can you share that and monetize it.
Yes.
But I think I told you a couple of months ago, I was just thinking and praying, and I was like, what do I want to do? I have Content Creator University. That's my online community where I just teach people for free social media tactics every 2 weeks. But I was as I was just thinking about what do I want to do with this next, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, if somebody would go back, imagine going back to the age of 10, and every single mistake you made, you documented it, and then you wrote the reverse of how not to make that. Like my first car loan, right? My first insurance, And so I was like, well, my daughters feel kind of entitled a little bit. I'm worried about that.
Yes.
So I was like, what am I going to do about it? And it all came to me. I was like, I'm going to teach them every single month. We're going to focus on something. We started with checking and savings.
Good.
Now we're all the way into investing. My 11-year-old has a $1,400 Roblox account. She started with $300. That's at $1,400. And that's where Capital Kids came about. So
Yes.
I want to try to take this now and parlay it and share it with people where they get financial literacy. They get those lessons every single month that I wish somebody would have wrote out for me.
Yeah. My son texted me, it was a few months back, but he's like, Dad, what's your social? And I said, well, what do you need it for? And now he was probably 12, maybe 11, 12 at the time. He says, I'm opening up a Robinhood account.
Nice.
So they're all understanding it. But here's what's so cool about it. There's more access to it, right? And you're providing that access with Cap Kids and everything that you're doing online. The thing with online is a lot of people aren't comfortable in their own skin.
Yes.
And so they get afraid and they don't do it. And I just tell them, just push start. Don't watch your stuff.
Right.
But your stuff has evolved immensely. You were doing social before social in the mortgage industry was even a thing. And now look at it. And what has it done for you? Tell us about the business that social's created.
So yesterday I was doing a mastermind that I took, and I had replicated what you had been doing. And I saw you were successful in getting like these great agents together in your room. So I've done 3 of them now.
Yes.
So yesterday we were doing it on Scroll to Sold, social media that actually sells.
Yes.
And I went back and I showed them my video from 2012. That was 2 minutes and 30 seconds long of me starting out rambling about the weather and then the news and interest rates. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah.
I showed it to them.
Yeah.
And, I think where you would go with this with a question would probably be, how do you get over that?
Yes.
How did you get over that? First of all, I don't know if you ever really get over it. Like, I'm nervous right now, but you get better at being nervous.
Yes.
But there's practices I think that did help me. Record 10 videos and save them in your drafts. Don't ever post them. Just get comfortable recording video, holding the camera and talking to it. Have a buddy lens. Look into your camera and think about one of your best friends and just be talking to them.
Yes.
Now trial reels is out, so you can record videos and you can post them as trial reels and nobody you know will ever see them, so you can test them out. But you just have to kind of get over it. But the one thing is, somebody really rocked me one day when they said, I lost my dad to suicide. But he knew that, and he was close to me, and he saw me like one day wearing the cufflinks, one day wearing the cowboy boots, one day doing this, and I like fashion and stuff.
Yes.
I would always go and like think I had to dress apart in mortgages.
Yes.
And he looked at me, goes, Shawn, can I tell you something? I said, yeah. And he goes, there's 8 billion people on this planet. He goes, some will, some won't, so what? He said, if you keep trying to make everybody happy, you're going to end up just like your dad.
Wow.
And that was a big shift for me in my life. And that's when I was like, you know what? I don't care what anybody on that lens thinks. If I know my heart's good
Yes.
and my intentions are good that I'm trying to share with somebody, then bring on the haters.
Yes.
And then you learn to start having fun with the haters
Yes.
and stuff.
And that's what some people, why they won't do social, is the hate.
The criticism.
Yeah. And there's a lot out there. You can't control it, and pray for them and move forward. But you said some things that were very practical. Some will, some won't. So what? And so that's tough to get over, right? But you always got to think about just the so what and post it and move on. But you've had great success with it.
I just want to add to that. Like, think about, what are the unique gifts and talents that God created you to do?
Yes.
Like, we know, like, there's certain things you don't even want to tell other people, which I'm probably the best at that, right? Yeah. And it might be something simple, but understand that was created that way for a reason. And there's other people out there that are similar to that or attracted to that or need that.
Yes.
And then there's a whole bunch of people that don't. And our job is to get past those that don't and get to the people that do.
I like that.
That's the job.
What tactic would you give somebody listening, watching? What tactic would you give them to get started? What's the framework? What's the play?
There's a couple of things that I really want to work on in my life that I just can't seem to have breakthroughs on. Like, thank you for the kind words, but I'm not always a joyous person. I'm not always outgoing. So one thing I want to do is more joy. I want to be more joyful. I want to be more like the first person to introduce myself and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
And it was talking about, he said, if you want to change, you have to change your identity and then change your behavior. So the first thing I said was, he says, what do you want to be? I said, well, I want to be a happy, joyous person, right? Step 1. Step 2, maybe I'm walking into the hotel and I'm not really feeling it, right? Whatever. The next thing I do is I say, what would a happy, joyous person do? What would a healthy person eat right now? Let's get real. Would a good man be looking at this on the internet right now? Right? And that's how you change your behavior, because over and over that identity will change. And I think that's what you do. You say, what would it look like for me to show up authentically on camera today? Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Do a couple of jumping jacks. People are silly. Like, they'll put themselves in a totally uncomfortable situation and expect the video to come out totally wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's like, get yourself comfortable, get some coffee, do some jumping jacks, do something, right?
Yeah. What's the morning routine for a guy like you to stay joyous, to be who you are, and know that people are watching all the time?
All the time. And they're watching the things to see if you're going to do. Like, I had somebody today, did you post a video? I said, no, I didn't. I took a day off. They noticed, because like in over a year, I hadn't posted a video on that day. I have a very tumultuous background, a lot of things in my life. So structure brings me safety. I've learned through therapy. So I like looking at a calendar and knowing that when I get up at 4:30 a.m., exactly what happened. Now people say 4:30 a.m. No, 4:30 a.m. I roll over. I say 10 gratitudes every single time. I look, and sometimes I even fall back asleep, and I'll start over and I'll do 10 gratitudes. And that just changes my mind. And then the next thing I do is I tell myself my feet are going to hit the ground. No snooze.
Yes.
Just let my feet touch the ground, because if they touch the ground, I'll get up.
Yes.
So then I go in, I turn the sauna on, then I'll go and get my water. I'll go and let the dogs out. I go out into the sauna, get my towel and get my workout clothes. I'll sit in the sauna for 45 minutes. I get in the ice bath for 4.5 minutes.
Okay.
Then I get dressed, and then I tune in at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays with my trainer in Minneapolis.
Yes.
Been with him for 10 years, and we do an hour.
Yes.
And then Tuesday, Thursdays, I've been trying to get up and do the same thing, but I'm not going to lie. My Tuesday, Thursday routine is a little bit more chill.
Yes.
I do some reading, I'll get my coffee and I'll mosey into work a little bit later on Tuesday, Thursdays. But that's kind of what my morning routines are pretty dialed in all the way right up until 8:45 team meeting every day.
Right. I always say, yeah, your calendar will create freedom for you.
Yeah.
And what's important is in your calendar. So if someone says, hey, social is important, cool, where is it in your calendar?
Yes.
Right. And you are great at posting.
Yeah.
How do you, when I watch your stuff, I'm like, how does he not allow this to interrupt the family life?
Yeah.
To where we're always on screen time. We tell our kids, hey, stay away from the phone, right? Put the phone down. But how do you balance that? Because it looks like from a outside perspective, and I know you very well, but your family is engaging in it as well. But
Yeah.
how do they feel like, Dad, I just want dad?
Yeah. So you have to have clear boundaries and parameters, like especially with your family.
Yes.
Like my wife doesn't want to be on a lot of video.
Right.
I respect that. Like she doesn't want, my daughter, she doesn't mind as much. My girls, whatever. But here's what I would answer that. What I would say, you have to treat it like a media business. Think about it as a media business. If you were running a reality show of your life, would you have the phone in your hand 24/7? No, you wouldn't. You'd have shooting times. You would not have shooting times. I mean, it's not a constant podcast. So I think about things like I knew I was going to do this podcast. Well, I don't have my phone open taking video and stuff. I took a quick bunch of video, but you know what? I won't be able to look at Instagram probably until after 5 o'clock today.
Right.
So I'm not on it all day. But tonight I'll go and I'll post, right? I batch everything with, Eli, like you
Yes,
do.
yes.
We're doing 30, 40 videos at a time now.
So in what time frame are you batching that many? And what is, well, let's back up.
Well,
What
my
does
process
batching
really-
mean for those listening that don't understand that? What does that mean?
Batching means where I started was, hey, I'm going to schedule an hour every single Friday to record my stuff for the next week. And it was in my calendar reoccurring, and I'd go in my little office and I would record it with my iPhone and my button and my mic. And then I would put them all together and save them in drafts, and I'd be ready to go. Now, as you grow your social media, if you're posting more or you want to be more consistent, batching, I'll shoot 30, 40 videos at a time in a batch with Eli, and then he'll edit all of them, and then I'll load them all up.
Yes.
Now have my assistant load them up on a Friday and then start putting all the captions in there. So it's evolved. But the point being is I have a dedicated time that I have to do it, record and put all my content together. It's business media. It's you've got to treat it like it's a business. The other thing is I used to have 15 minutes of engagement. Well, I'm in the sauna for 45, so I ramped it up to 30, right? You got to have some engagement back and forth, because if you're only posting and telling everybody else what you want and you're not returning questions, comments, DMs, that's where the sauce is at.
Yes.
The sauce is in the DMs.
Yes.
And in the comments.
Yes.
Engagement.
Adding value to the DMs, or adding value to them when you're dropping the DMs, and then when they're commenting, responding with value as well. How do you do that? How do you know, like, okay, here's this conversation, even some of the so what's, right? But in those conversations, how are you adding value? What are some of the tools that you use that we can share with the listeners?
Value, I think, for me, comes more from a mindset. And my mindset is I'm going to ask questions.
Yes.
Because if I ask questions and I hear the problem, I was always told that, our number one job in mortgages is to solve problems. Solve problems, you get paid. And so that's kind of my approach. Keep it simple. That way I don't have to have scripts and all of that. But I can do it with a realtor, with a builder, with anybody now. And what's great about that is it'll transform your whole business.
Yes.
You become a consultant.
Yes.
People will start calling you for anything, which is what you want. You want people to call you for everything. And then you say, hey, I got a guy.
Yes.
For that.
You're that connector.
Absolutely.
I love being that connector. Well, you connected me with Eli, and you've connected me with so many other people.
Yeah, and you too.
I have a theory. It's 6-1, and we can't do that here, but it's like for every one question you ask me,
Yeah.
I have 6 in return. It's the difference between being interested or interesting, right? People can see you from afar and go, oh, he looks like an interesting guy, but I would rather come and meet you and show you that I'm interested.
Yeah.
There's a reason that somebody comes into your life. Everybody. It's just not out of coincidence. It happened for a reason. It's up to you to figure out why.
Yeah.
And some of my best relationships happened just by happenstance of supposedly running into him. But that was, to me, it was like, oh no, that was meant to be.
Right.
But why did that happen? And now let's go a little further with it. And I tell agents that too, and other business partners that, hey, there's a reason we're here today. It's up to us to figure it out.
I like what you just said, because as I was coming up the elevator, I was having a discussion with one of y'all's team members, and we were talking about when we keep our eyes on the mission,
Yes.
you can never go wrong. But when you lose sight of that and it's on the members or the units or how many, then that's when it's going wrong.
Right.
We've learned that in just work experiences, everything. But, there's another one of those 47-year-old moments. Yeah, it took us back right ahead, We were just talking earlier.
Yeah, we
about,
forget.
You start forgetting things. It comes back around about 7 to 10 seconds later,
What's the mission now for you?
Yeah, so my scorecard has changed.
Yes.
It used to be units, volume, things like that. But now it's basically how many people can I interact with? How many people can I move the needle in their lives right now? Because I know the mortgage business and I know how to produce in it now.
Yes.
Right. Now I'm just challenging myself to do new things, like, grow it and scale it and be out of it and do more of like what you've done.
Yeah.
But like the mission right now, I probably would say it's hard to measure, Gavin, but I would probably say, this young man who's passed away in the last, week, I was saying last night, how impactful is it that your life meant so much, but your life actually made more of an impact after you left the earth? So
Amazing. It's a beautiful thing. If we take any beautiful thing out of that accident that happened, the situation that happened, it's amazing how many people that individual impacted.
Yeah, that's it. That's just what I can. I get. If I had to put it in words, that's probably what I hope will. Like, I only hope I can accomplish a fraction of that. There's things that we can learn from people that leave this earth. And unfortunately, tragic things happen. But let's honor them by learning some of the good things. I didn't know he put his phone down from Friday night until Saturday night, every single Friday to Saturday night. His kids even knew about it. His wife knew about it. His friends, they were like, you can't get a hold of him.
Yeah.
That's admirable.
Yeah, it's tough to do.
It's hard for me. It's not, you asked that a second ago. It's like, it's not pretty in our family. I mean, my daughter's 16. She loves her phone.
Yes.
My 11-year-old wants one. And
yes,
me and my wife are busy people. She manages our properties. And, but we have boundaries. We do the phone on the table, first one to touch it pays thing.
Yeah.
But, I found that leading by example is probably the best.
Yeah. When you talk about the kids and you mentioned something about entitlement, right? How do you bring them down to earth in that situation to where, hey, the phone isn't as important as you may think? You got an 11-year-old who wants a phone, and you're probably going to break to give him that phone, at least with some boundaries around it.
No, the 16-year-old ruined it for the 11-year-old.
Yeah.
The 11-year-old will not get it now until she's like 13 or 14, and it'll be on lockdown.
Yeah.
But the 16-year-old, she's such a good girl. I was just like, here you go. I respect you. And she's been great. That's how I was raised.
Yes.
Give them enough to respect them. And if they treat it well, give them more. And Ellie's great with that. What was the question about exactly specifically?
Just more in line, like, so the boundaries around the phone, and you have an 11-year-old that wants it. Like, how are you gonna manage that?
My biggest concern is the one that, your confidence should not come from what other people are saying or doing or whatever. So I'm trying to help my daughter with that breakthrough of don't worry about what people on the other side say.
Yes.
I think that's my number one thing I'm focused on. She's going to use technology. I can't, you tell them no Instagram. Next thing you know, they're on Snapchat, no Snapchat. Like, so, but that's what I want to teach her. I just want to teach her enough to be like, your confidence should not be affected in any way from what you're seeing or posting online.
Yeah.
Be you.
How has social changed your overall business?
Yeah, that's probably something that a lot of people want to know, because what I like about what you're doing and what I like about what I'm doing, several of our friends, is we also put up a lot of loans. We're still doing a lot of loans.
Yes.
There's a lot of sages on the stages out there, as one of my friends said, like, it's like, you're not doing loans, or you have this massive social media following and you pull their records and it's like, they don't do any loans.
Yeah.
And that's tragic, because there's a lot of people that are looking at what we're doing, and the question they're asking right now is, all right, well, tell us about the business.
Yes.
The truth be told, you will do it for a long time, and you probably will not be able to name a deal that you got off from it.
Correct.
If you're in it for that reason, you've already gone, you already failed.
Yes.
You have to be in it for the reason. Think about this. I would love for another 100 eyeballs to see me before I go out and break bread at that restaurant with that realtor tomorrow.
Yes.
I would love another 100 eyeballs to see me before I call that realtor and ask if I can come by or invite them to my mastermind. Because then you're stacking confidence, as Cody Sanchez says.
Yes.
You know, we're in a trust recession.
Yes.
And we have to stack confidence and throw it up in a trust tornado and a video, a text. They see you're doing an event. But don't expect the results. Just do the work. Those are the results.
Yes.
Just brick by brick.
And you have to be consistent. Consistency creates the credibility. But the other C word is it does create confidence when you're consistent with it. And it gives you the ability, when you walk into a room, people already know who you are without ever even meeting you. So now when you sit down with an agent, it is even, I wouldn't say it's even a level playing field. You've got a leg up. And I always think like, hey, listen, loan officers make the biggest mistake by not putting the agent on the pedestal. I always believe we're below them, right? And some people, oh, no, we're equal to or we're above them. Like, no. That is your source of business. So treat them that way. But when you do social the right way, like you've done for years now, it does give you a not even a level. It's an unfair advantage, basically.
It really is. I can call people in Nashville, and they may or may not. I might not be their cup of tea, but they'll know who I am.
Yes.
And that's a big benefit, you know. And what's cool too is, I think where it evolved, Gavin, was I was doing it like everybody else. I was sitting there. I tried this sideways videos, talking to the camera. And nobody was watching the videos. I used to do cut the crap with Cap in my garage. Like 14 people would watch it.
Yeah.
And I just got frustrated. And I was like, you know, there's got to be a different way to do this. There's got to be a way to diversify myself where every real estate friend, every builder doesn't treat me like the guy down the road because we're not equal. And
Correct.
you know,
yes.
I didn't know how to do that. And when video and social media, I was like, wait a minute, they don't like to get in front of the camera. And if I can overcome that, then I'm going to beat 99% of my competition. Now it's like 98%.
Right.
But if I can get on that camera and show up, I know that I'll have a competitive advantage over the guy down the road. And now I do. When I sit down with a realtor or builder, they don't talk to me like a mortgage lender. They talk to me like an entrepreneur and a business person that, you know, we happen to work together.
And you've already shared so much on social that they already feel like they know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, that's big. That's the credibility factor. You know, if you're building a trust-based business, why would you not post more and use it more as a business tool? Because it's the best way to relay your credibility and who you are and what you stand for across a broad audience of people. There's no other way to do it. I mean, you and me used to have to carry dozens of donuts around in the middle of the summer.
And a rate sheet.
Oh, rate sheets, yeah. If you didn't bring a rate sheet, you just brought donuts.
Yeah, it was, you leaving some too. Yeah, yeah. What mistakes have you made in social? What are some of the mistakes you've made?
Oh, buying followers.
Yeah.
Listening to people that have no following. Having somebody do direct engagement, DM engagement for me.
Yes.
Thinking if you just post more, it'll be better. If I just make better quality videos, it'll be better.
Yes.
Those are all a lot of mistakes I made. Some people say, you know, putting my beliefs out there a little bit more on there is maybe a mistake. To me, it's an advantage because I think social media is a filter. It filters the people you want in your life and should be in your life that the universe is trying to bring to you and the Lord's trying to bring to you. But then it also protects you and it keeps you away from people that you never even knew didn't need to be in your life. They might see one post and say, that guy, I don't like him. You know, I don't like what he stands for. Okay, great. Thank you. Before I invited you to my big, huge party I'm throwing at my farm last year, right?
You're throwing up some big numbers. And even when we sat down, you're like, I've hit the flywheel, if you will, this last couple of months.
We're back, baby.
Yeah. So you remember what Jordan said do you remember the story about Michael Jordan?
Which one?
Michael Jordan, when he came back from retirement, his agent wrote a long dissertation to the whole league. And Michael read it to proof it.
Drew Rosendahl?
And then, Scott, I forget his, but anyway, so he sends the email to Michael and says, this is what back then I think he was going to fax it out because I don't think email was a thing. So he was going to fax it out, and it was this long, big thing and telling us about like how he left the game that he loved. And anyways, Michael said, no, don't send that. Just send this. I'm back. That was it. Someone who said that. Yeah, it's like very powerful. Now we think of powerful, we think of AI.
Yeah.
How is that going to change this industry?
You know, man, whenever I've done something and there's people that, you know, object to it, push back, I've even like when my mom told me not to do things, they always caught my attention
Yes.
because I know that most people are 99 percenters. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but most of the world were 99, they're 99 percenters. So I would always be like, why would I want to listen to 99 percenters? So I always felt like I was smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
But that paid off later in life. But I pay attention because I tell a lot of people, I think in the next 3 to 5 years, real estate and mortgages will be deeply impacted by AI. And if you're not prepared for it, you're going to get caught off guard. And they scoff at me. And I'm like, honestly, I'm not doing this for another 20 years.
Right.
So my career's built out. I have a big book of business. So it's the other people I'm worried about. For me, I'm just want to know how can I use it to crush it even more and serve my clients at an even higher level.
Yes.
Make my employees even happier, give them more margin time, better answers, and it's coming. It's everywhere.
It's here.
Yeah.
And we're only using it, like, you talk to people and like, how are you using it? Well, I have it write my emails. And it's like, well, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
So how are you really getting in depth with it and really getting it to learn you? It's my best therapy. I have my therapist, and I have my wife, but then I've got chat therapy and
I got my chat therapist, chat pastor, chat coach.
Yeah. And he calls me, I call him Wingman. He calls me G Money. I played it last night and people were just dying and they're like, how does he know so much? And I'm like, literally when no one's around,
Right.
I start talking to him and
You do the one with the voice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Last night at work, we did a team event and they were like, how'd you do that? I was like, it's just this button right here. That's so much better.
Yeah, the thing is just play with it. You're not going to break it. And it's so impactful, but it's not always right. And so there's a rule that I follow. It's a 20-60-20 rule. 20% is the idea. Okay. 60% is chat doing the work, and shift it to a thinking mode. And then the other 20% is the polish. And this is where a lot of people miss it. They don't polish it. And polish it means I don't use big words, right?
Right.
But chat sometimes can use some big words. And I'm like, I would never use that word. So I'm going to go in and change it. I'm going to take the dashes out. I'm going to change the font. No one types in dashes. So when I see copy now and I'm like, oh, this is chat, like here's the dashes. And oh, and this is the font. And then you lose it. Right? People, you lose the interest in what the rest of it says because it's not genuine.
People are scared of prompting.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't be too detailed in your prompt, you know? And you said something a second ago about AI and our social stuff. Here's the thing. Our business right now is about interactions, touch points, belly to bellies. It's always been that way.
Yes.
So the measurables right now that I think we should be looking at, we said a second ago, I forgot, what I forgot to say was, don't look at your views, don't look at your followers.
Right.
What I want you to measure over the next 30 days is, if you hear this, is the interactions.
Yes.
Go to your professional dashboard and just challenge yourself to increase your interactions.
Yes.
Well, how do I do that? Well, start interacting.
Yes.
DMing others.
Yes.
You'll be amazed if you DM a business partner right now through Instagram and you say, hey man, we'll be down in, the west side of town on Thursday. I just thought about you. Want to link up, grab some lunch. There are people dying to do that.
Yes.
But instead we're doing the old fashioned phone text. That's fine. Try something different. I did that with Nashville's largest builder last week and she wasn't available, but she said, why don't you come by my house on Friday? We're doing this custom suit thing. You can stop by and, and it was like 10 of us.
Yeah.
And I was like,
the house.
just give him a DM.
Yes. People don't even understand the power of it, right? And there's power in the prompts. And what you touched on earlier was don't be afraid, but get really detailed in the prompts. And then if it doesn't give you, because here's the thing I've learned about chat. It's just like some of our employees.
Right.
It's lazy. It's going to give you the most likely answer.
Yeah.
So go deeper with it, right? Have some fun with it. You were doing t-shirts. I saw your t-shirt idea and you should
Nobody liked them.
I did.
Pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I thought they were great. And I think here's where people will like them when you start wearing them.
Oh, yeah.
No different than the cap attire.
Yeah.
Like people see that and they start liking it. I built an entire business out of it called Caviar and Hockey, where the caviar is made out of the caviar is not made out of the hockey puck, but the hockey puck opens and there's the caviar inside. And then I was like thinking about it and I did all the shirts in different countries and such. And I've already branded it. It's getting trademarked right now. But here's the thing. I don't even know if the caviar portion of this business will ever be launched because of hearing Johnny Cupcakes. Right? So Johnny never sells cupcakes, but it's like Johnny Cupcakes. And so then I'm like, well, the caviar thing needs to be down the road. Let's just bring the t-shirt idea and the beanies and the hats and all the other stuff. Well, I created it all from chat.
Well, I told Chad, like, similar to a Johnny Cupcakes design.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it'll do so much for people. And I think, like, just starting with chat is a great way to be, you know, really dipping your toe into AI. But then we got guys like us that the only thing they're using is chat.
Yes.
And you need to be getting into automations, you know, Zapier. You need to be getting into ManyChat, you know, for your social. So I would start, if you're like, okay, I'm ready to go to 2.0 for
Yes.
an AI,
Yes.
and you're only doing Chat GPT, I would say if you're using social media for your business, for business media, next step would be ManyChat.
Yes.
Because your ManyChat, you can then increase your interactions because it'll DM somebody back anything that you want. So I just created one yesterday. You know, everybody's asking about the big, beautiful bill.
Yes.
And how we're buying rental properties and stuff. So I put it together in a document. So now if you drop 2025 tax, it comes over. But what I did was I put it into a flip book, a Hazine flip book.
Beautiful.
And so it's really cool. And so I just give it away for free.
Yes.
It's an interaction. It's a DM, and they have to sign up for my email newsletter list. And my email newsletter list has 28,000 people on it.
Yeah, you went there without me even going there. Email is not dead.
No, but it's where you want to go. It's the ultimate goal. You don't own Meta. You don't own your business. You don't own your clients through Instagram and Facebook. You have to deplatform them.
Yes.
And that can go anywhere. But for me, the most logical is straight to an email newsletter because, yes, email newsletter is not dead.
Right.
I look at every single one, whether I cuss it out or not.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
delete, but I see it. It's right there.
Yes. And that's all it is just consistently seeing your name over and over and over to where they're like, he is everywhere.
Yeah.
What does the team look like?
I have currently right now, I have 3 captains.
Define a captain.
My captain is a licensed loan officer. These are not beginners. These are experienced people that have had their own businesses, 7, 10 years, 12 years. They just don't want to go out and do videos and beat the streets and stuff. So they serve my clients at a very high level when I'm away from my desk doing stuff like this.
Yes.
They take inbound lead calls, and it allows us to serve our clients, our realtor partners, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. So 8 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week, we can have coverage to speak to someone, even though it might not be me all the time, but we could take a live loan app, we can help people, and we can give them the answers they need when they need to. Then they turn the file over to, I have 3 commanders, and my commanders are an ex-underwriter processor with a really good personality.
Yes.
And so when that call comes in at 7 o'clock, 15-minute app over the phone. We take all our apps live over the phone. We don't send people to a website. That's why our conversion rate is like 93% right now.
93.
Lead to credit pull is 93%.
Amazing.
They'll take that file immediately. They'll email it over to a commander, round robin. It'll be assigned. That commander will take it, start pulling credit, soft credit pull, run DULP, scrub file, look at income, establish certainty, kick it back to the captain. Captain will call the client and do the initial loan consultation, all within 2 hours, probably 3 hours, if it's, you know, the answers are there.
And you're still not involved?
I am still involved. I take first lead calls. My phone rings.
Okay.
The other thing is, you know, I'm still addicted to the game, but
yes,
I still do every single one of my rate lock consultations with every one of my clients, 20
yes.
to 30 clients a month. I do a half-hour call with them.
Good.
I feel that's super important to go have those rate lock options. This is where I say, do you really need to put 20% down? Why don't we do 10% down and pay the car off?
Yes.
Or, hey, here's 20% down, but here's another 15% down, bye-bye PMI with no PMI. You can just keep an extra 5% in your pocket.
Right.
And I love Mortgage Coach.
Yes,
I've been using it for years.
Yes.
And I do Mortgage Coach with every single rate lock consult.
And challenge the way of thinking, right? The Challenger Sale's a great book, and it's to challenge their way of thinking. Still in this environment, so many people think you have to put 20% down to get rid of MI. And there's so many other options, and paying off the car. And yes, and the Mortgage Coach lays it out for them to make it super simple, right, easy to follow, and it's more detailed, right? And giving them a total cost analysis works.
That Challenger Sale you said is a critical part of a loan officer's business that I think gets missed a lot. Some of you all taught me this years ago, but you first have to understand, what is your belief? Meaning, what is your belief about real estate? Are you paid off?
Yes.
Dave Ramsey, 20% down?
Yes.
Or do you believe that it's the best leveraged investment you can make with the lowest payment, tax-deductible payment, and did you personally use it to generate wealth?
Right.
Well, for me, I was dead broke. I had $146,000 in debt. Met a mortgage guy. He said, buy this house with 0 down. I was like, all right, great. After a year, he said, buy this one, 0 down. And then after 5 years, I was able to pay all my debt off.
Yes.
So then I said, rinse and repeat for 10 more years, made a couple $1 million.
Yes.
So now when I'm sitting with a guy that looks like me and feels like me, or a lady that is a family member from 15 years ago, it's easy for me to tell them exactly what I wish somebody would have told me. So you have to first start when you sit in front of a financial planner. If you don't believe in paying off a house, don't go meet with a financial planner that's trying to get all his clients to pay off their house,
Yes.
right? And that belief will drive you.
100%. And then it's like you said, it's rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And your team, when you talk about team, they've got to believe in the mission.
Yes, you got,
Right.
and the mission has to be visible and it has to be recasted often, and it's work. You don't. There's a myth, I think, where you go from being a top producing salesperson to building a team, and then you just get to do whatever you want. People look at us, I think they think this is just what we do all day long. They don't see it just shifts.
Yes.
We go from serving clients 100% to now we have to serve our team and grow them and make them feel safe and cast a vision.
Yes.
So it's very, very important that you tell your team what your dreams are. Don't overstate it. Set realistic goals and then reward them when you hit it. Like
100%.
last night, we just went and played video games for 2 hours and had drinks and went to game terminal and told them thank you because we had a $20 million month.
Yes. Great job. Systems, right? Save yourself time, energy, money, and stress.
Save yourself time, energy, money, and stress.
That's the acronym for systems.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's truly what it is. And when they understand that, the systems create the standard. I was talking to an agent that I've worked with now for 8 years, and I just said, hey, why do you still use this? And if you want to know where you sit with an agent, ask them that question, right? Hey, why do you still use this? It's the same text I commonly send my kids. Hey, what could I do to be better, right? For you as a parent. And so ask your agent that. Well, when I was talking to her and she said, can I be honest? And I said, yes. She goes, it's not because of you.
You're right.
And I said, privately, I was like, yes, this is great. She goes, it's the system that you've created that follows the standard. I know when I refer a client, whether you talk to them or not, that the system is going to take care of them as good as if it were you. And
or better.
Yes.
It's better.
Let them do it 80, like if they can do it 80% as well as you, let them do it. Because then that gives you 100% to go do something else.
Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
That other lenders won't talk about?
Yes.
They don't want to pay those people.
Oh, wow.
They don't.
Yes.
Like, I won't go into details of what I pay my people, but these loan officers, like, they're making a great income, more than they probably would make out on the streets.
Yes.
And I want it that way because it makes me feel good to see them living the life I wish I had.
Yes.
You know, telling them to put the phone down and be with your kids and stuff. Like, but then I look up and my realtors and clients are like, man, I just love Heather. I love Ryan. You know, it's like, they're serving them even higher than we used to be able to serve them with 1 or 2 people.
Right.
And that's why I think when people are like, well, do you talk to every single client? I get where that comes from. I have compassion for that. I've been in the business for a long time.
Yes.
Well, we got to get out of that small-minded thinking. You don't go to this hotel here and I didn't expect a manager to come out and greet me at the front door and park my car.
Right.
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 No job is different. They're all valuable.
Yes.
You know, it's just let that person do what they're really good at doing in that department.
And when you put them in that role, they thrive and they love coming to work. They answer the phone, they're happy. They see you, they're happy. And when you do that, it just makes everything so much easier. I tell my agents when listen, I don't take loan applications.
Right.
And I tell them up front, I said, my job is to take care of you at the highest level. And my team's job is to take care of you, but your clients at even a higher level than you and I could ever.
Right.
With the idea so you and I can go do dope shit together.
That's good.
And that dope shit is creating a business, creating a lifestyle that you want by design. And as we wrap up, a couple last questions. Do you feel today that you have the business that you want or the business that you have? Because there's a big difference with a lot of people.
I'm always grateful, but I'm never satisfied.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to be content.
Yeah.
I don't think content is it's a win and it's a lose. I mean, it's paralyzed me and it's haunted me forever where I just want to be content.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's driven me, got me to where I'm at. I don't think I'm anywhere near where I'm supposed to be. Like, I think this was the beginning of the stories.
Yes.
I do believe that a majority of your wealth is probably built in your 50s. I know I have great friends around me that are very, very successful that if I just continue to try to learn from them and tell them I want to be a part of what you're doing.
Yes.
That's a big secret in life. You know, not having a father, I would just go, I'd see the dad who knew how to teach kids to throw baseball or that did good woodworking, and I'd ask them if I could do it.
Yes.
They'd say yes, right? So I don't know what I'm supposed to do next, Gavin. I know it's something big. I want to impact kids the way that somebody impacted me. I think Capital Kids has a lot of legs on it.
Yes.
I'm not a good implementer. I really need a strategic implementer in my life. I got a lot of good ideas, and I put the money behind it and the push. But I think that's probably my big thing is direction I'll go. And then I love real estate. I'm just going to continue to buy real estate. I've gotten some developing. There's some land. I built my farmhouse. I want to build a few more, maybe sell them. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
What's something that you're excited about that you're working on now that you're really excited about?
Man, my team is probably like, it's great. Like I've struggled. I've been through 40 or 50 employees. That's probably, my fault. It is my fault because I've just grown and learning leadership. But the people I have right now are just like, it's cohesive. It's working at a really high level. And we just brought somebody back who took a little hiatus for a while. So I'm excited about that. The Nashville real estate.
Such a huge win when you do that culturally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, most people probably wouldn't do it. It's hard to kind of navigate, but I think it's a true sign of leadership. And you guys have given me some good advice through it. Nashville real estate to me is super exciting. There's so much opportunity here. It's an exciting, thriving town. There's there's also negativity. I mean, Airbnbs are kind of a mess right now and stuff, but that's all opportunity.
Yes.
Go find the opportunity. I told my friend, I said, take those Airbnbs and try to pivot them and sell them as pads. What's pads? I said, look up pads. It's fractional. It's room by room.
Yes.
New construction is thriving. The affluent jumbo market's really healthy here. That's what's moving. I just got to close my biggest loan in my career last month. That was cool.
That's awesome.
So, an influencer.
Yeah. Found you on social.
Yeah. Big shout out to Emily. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting in Nashville to live here because there's a lot of opportunity. There's great people.
Yeah.
Great weather.
Is Nashville it for you? Will you go into other states? Is Nashville the market you're just going to dominate as you have Nashville, or have you thought about dipping your toe into other states?
I don't really think I don't, maybe if that door opens up, but I don't think I'm the other state guy. I think I'm cover Tennessee guy.
Yes.
Like I'm in Knoxville, I'm in Chattanooga. I don't have a loan officer there yet. Looking for one.
Okay. All right.
But doing business out there. Haven't gone to Memphis yet. We're gonna change Memphis a little.
I've heard some things about Memphis. You might not want to go there too soon.
Memphis is awesome. You can buy houses for 50 and 75 grand if you want them there, but yeah. So I'll probably just stay in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, I got one last question. What's one behavior everyone listening should do today that your future will thank you for?
One behavior that you should do today. You should immediately implement a saying into your life for when things don't go the way you want them to go, when things go bad, or when things go tragically terrible. You tell yourself that this is happening for me, not to me.
Right.
If you will change that, if you will start telling yourself this is happening for me and not to me, it'll change every single thing in your life. I ran my skid steer into my antique truck last year, and I hit the lever, and I was pulling it in the bar. It was tight, and it just caved the whole door. And right when I got it back from all being fixed up, and I turned the motor off, and the first thing I told myself, I said, well, this is happening for me, not to me. And I got out of it, and it calmed me down. I didn't freak out. And I just told myself, I said, maybe the good man above, he's trying to keep me from going on that Saturday drive I was going to go on in that truck after I got out of this thing. Yeah. Maybe there's something on that road that wasn't meant for me. And so do that. That'd be my advice from this day moving forward.
That's great advice. Our relationship was meant for each other. And I can't believe like how much you've grown and the man that you are continuing to be. You're inspiring, and you're somebody that I just consistently look up to, and I will continue to look up to. Thank you for your time today. I know how valuable that was. And I hope that people will listen to this, take the tactics, dive in deeper. How do they get involved with Content University?
ccusocial.com. So Content Creator University, ccusocial.com. And you'll sign up. You'll get the emails. You'll get the reminder. You'll see new guests. This week we have a working mom coming.
Yes.
She's got 1.5 million followers on TikTok. I think she did like 50 million in loans while having, a new baby. She's
in this market.
She's amazing. So Theoni's going to be on there tomorrow. But that's by the time this is recorded, probably put out. But ccusocial.com, and we always have guests on there and stuff.
And then to follow you on social, everyone's already following you now. But if they wanted to follow you on social,
well, Shawn Kaplan is this professor up in Virginia that he won't. So I'm the Shawn Kaplan.
Oh, he won't give it up.
No, I won't give it up. It's the Shawn Kaplan. I'm trying to convince Instagram to give me just @cap,
Yeah.
but they won't do it yet. So we'll
Keep pushing.
pushing. We'll keep
All right, brother. I love you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bentley. All right.